What we're not going to do is ignore the blatant racism and misogyny that's impacting Black women like Jasmine Crockett. I said it from day one that when she announced her Senate race, that there were going to be racist attacks and misogynistic attacks sent her way. And this is impacting other Black women creators as well. And it's important that we go ahead and name this because it is a reality in our country. We don't live in a post-racial society. We don't live in a space where we can just ignore racism, where we can just ignore misogyny, because it's all around us. And it's important that we also recognize that that is a reality. And it's important that people like myself, who are not Black women, also amplify the voices of Black women, and in particular name that these things are still issues, that the systemic barriers that still impact people like Jasmine Crockett, who is educated, experienced, still play a role today. Why is it that her hair, her eyelashes, her way of speaking is being brought up? But when compared to her white male counterparts, that is not even a conversation. And I know some people will be out there saying this isn't about race, this isn't about being a woman. But the reality is that if you look at most facets of our life, if not all, women are disproportionately held to a different account. And it is time that we, men, also use our voices and our platforms to talk about this. And this is with Jasmine Crockett having the political experience, the community and coalition building experience, her education, and all of the things that she already has under her tool belt. And yet she is still held to a different account. And why? Because of racism and misogyny. And we just have to be real about that. So let's address it. Let's make sure that it's actually being dealt with, and let's contribute to building a society in which this doesn't have to be an issue anymore. But while it is, we're going to continue to keep talking about it.
We denied a qualified Black candidate because she could not appeal to racists enough. This wasn't about voting for the best person we believed could advocate for our values in Washington. Yet the expectation is that Black voters will show up in November to vote against that same racism. Labor is welcomed, but not our leadership. Did I summarize your electability politics correctly?
So yes, we need a fighter. And I was so ready to vote for Jasmine Crockett because I love her. But I voted for Tallarico because we need somebody who can win.
Happy Women's History Month to Black American women. Watch as white American women abandon us yet again, just like Susan B. Anthony and Lucretia Mott did during women's suffrage. When Black women tell you that we have no allies, this is what we're talking about. These are the same liberal white women who will wear blue bracelets and then stab us in the back at the voting box. Remember, when white people try to throw Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech in your face, you need to throw his letter from a Birmingham jail right back at them, because these are the people he was warning us about. White liberals, well-meaning people with shallow convictions. This is it. These are the type of women who have yet to unpack their misogynoir and are our biggest obstacle at the voting box. And they're supposed to be on our side.
They voted for the white guy. I'm sorry. I don't care if you is ghetto, as all ghetto, quote unquote ghetto can be. If you are supporting me, I'm rocking with you, and I'm not going to betray you because you're rocking with me. I don't care if somebody is quote unquote ghetto or quote unquote ratchet. I don't care. You supporting me. I'm cool with what you do. You supporting me. That community did not show up and support her. And because of that, Jasmine Crockett alienated a lot of people in the Black community too, because she was so pro-immigration. Foundational Black Americans have no benefit to immigration. It doesn't benefit us. So run around here telling us about immigration. All we hear when you do that is you want to take tax dollars and benefits that should be going to Black Americans and give it to people who just got here. When Black people haven't even made whole. Black people haven't even gotten their reparations in the form of cash payments. Black people haven't gotten their land back. Because there was millions and millions of acres of land that's been stolen from Black America. We don't want to hear no talk about you coming to us, you Black politicians, talking about no immigration. Because when it was their time to shine and show the Black politician that, hey, we got your back because you supported us with immigration policy and advocating for immigration, they still voted for the white guy. Overwhelmingly, once again, the lady in the video, she was part of the 36% of Latinos that voted for Jasmine Crockett. We're not talking about those Latinos. Not at all. We're talking about the other majority of Latinos that voted for James Tallarico. There were also, in this election, Republicans voted in the Democratic primary to get James Tallarico in the primary. And how many times I told y'all, I preached this sermon for months. I said, hey, if you're going to do any voting, show up early voting. You got 2 whole weeks to do it. I said that. If it's presidential election, no matter what election it is, show up early voting. Because what happened election day in Texas?
If you're ever curious about how anti-blackness shows up and how race and sexism play a part in just about everything, but also how black bodies are disregarded, how our humanity is disregarded. Because a lot of times when black folks say this, people think we're being dramatic. Really take a look at the primary election for Senate seat in Texas. It is a classic case of anti-blackness, racism, and sexism. Everybody's screaming, we just need to come together. Y'all remember that? However, the individuals that were voting for James Tallarico said some horrible things about Jasmine Crockett. Very racist, anti-black, and sexist statements. Those are the same people that after Kamala Harris lost, went into a whole performance. We should have trusted the black woman. Oh my gosh, what have we done? White tears. And baby, the Latinx community. Baby, they voted heavily for James Tallarico. But after James Tallarico won, the text messages saying, we need your money, we need your support. Now suddenly we all need to come together. After you have just been anti-black, racist, and sexist toward us, we're supposed to forget all of that and now step and fetch. When black folks say they don't have any allies, this is what we mean. And I stopped saying black and brown folks need to come together a long time ago. People of color, I stopped even mentioning that coalition decade ago. The Latinx community as a whole is so eager to appeal to whiteness. It's sickening. They're not beating the allegations either. Back to my black folks. When we say we don't have any allies, this is what we mean. Govern yourselves accordingly. I said it in my last post. They failed the open book test. And baby, they're going to keep on failing them. The classes keep on happening. And they keep skipping class. And so they're going to keep failing them. We don't have any allies. The sooner we realize that, the better off we will be. People show you who they are. And you keep on trusting them. Y'all got it, player. Y'all got it. All right, black folks. Drink your water. Stay rooted, real, and knowledgeable. And mind your black business. Happy Black History 365. And I'll see you next time.
Hello you all, welcome back. My name is Kola, and a lot of people online are talking right now about Jasmine Crockett and her Senate loss. And honestly, the reactions are so wild, especially from the Black American community, and it has been intense because for many people, this wasn't just about one candidate losing an election. No, it feels like something deeper, right? It feels more of about coalition politics. It feels more of loyalty, race, and the reality of how voting blocks actually move in the US. And if you've been scrolling through your social media pages the last couple of days, you've probably seen the frustration going on in America right now. And a lot of Black Americans are saying they feel disappointed, even more so they feel betrayed because they expected stronger support from more so the Latino voters. And the assumption for a long time has been that the minority communities, which include the black voters and the Latino voters and other minority communities, they expected they would naturally support each other more so in politics. But this election, it seems to have reminded people that politics doesn't always work the way we all think, right? And some analysts are saying Latino voters simply had different priorities, and for some of them, the issues they cared about were issues like immigration policy, economy, the economy how it is, the sudden loss of jobs, and just local concerns, and this may have pushed them towards voting for another candidate. But online, the reactions from Black Americans has been more emotional than analytical, and some of them are saying Black voters show up each and every time for everyone else, but when it's time to support a Black candidate, the same support isn't always returned, it isn't reciprocated, and that's where the tension is coming from. Another conversation that people are having in their social media pages, it's whether people like it or not, is about the race. It's about race, which might have participated to Jasmine Crockett not being voted for. And some voters and commentators believe the fact that Jasmine Crockett is a Black woman could have influenced how some groups voted, right? It's true. And now that's a sensitive topic, and not everyone agrees with it, but it is definitely being discussed. It might be the cause. And in American politics, race still shapes perception. It shapes trust and voting and the way people vote, and in ways that people don't always say it out loud. So when a Black candidate loses, especially in a race where minority coalitions is expected, it raises questions, and you like, just because I was Black, right? But was it messaging or was it policy differences? I would want to hear from you all how you feel about Jasmine Crockett losing, what might have participated and caused her to lose. And those are the debates happening right now that we really should talk about. Before we dive in, let's first watch how people are reacting to this, and then we're going to come back with a full commentary at the end of the video. And if you haven't yet subscribed, kindly hit that subscribe button, and I'll gladly appreciate if you guys do so.
The reason why Barack Obama was the first Black president of the United States is because he wasn't too Black. If Barack Obama's mission statement was to advocate for his community and only his community, he would have never became the president of the United States. Black Americans have gotten too comfortable, and y'all have forgotten that this is the exact same country that has beat, raped, and enslaved your grandmother and made your granddaddy watch. Men who have committed flagitious sins and wear masks of political leaders have said themselves that the biggest threat to America is the Black man. So imagine how they feel when they see a Black woman killing shit. Jasmine Crockett did not lose because she was not qualified. Jasmine Crockett did not lose because how she conducted herself. Jasmine Crockett lost because she was too Black. This needs to be a lesson to my future Black leaders and the Black leaders in office right now. You will never make the progress that you need to make as a Black professional, as a Black leader, as a Black business owner, as a Black politician, being too Black. Because your white peers, your Latin peers, your Arab peers, anybody else in America is going to see you as a threat. Because just how we see the power in each other as Black people, they do too.
The people who voted for him in the largest numbers were Hispanic and Latino voters, and that's totally fine. Love that for y'all. Here's the thing. Nobody's shocked that Jasmine didn't win the Democratic primary in Texas. Like, nobody's shocked. Disappointed, but not shocked. But here's the thing. Since the Latino voters came out in mass numbers, that mean that y'all can handle everything on the campaign. Y'all want y'all boy to be in there. All Black folks got to do now is show up in November, and Black folks been doing that anyways. Black folks been showing up in massive and record-breaking numbers anyways when they come out to the midterm and the overall general elections. So all we got to do is show up. But now all that campaigning, boots on the ground, the same shit that Jasmine has been doing for the past 6 years, ever since 2020, that's on y'all boy now. So I hope Hispanic and Latino voters are ready to get boots on the ground and do what need to be done to get the Republicans who are on the fence and the Independents who are on the fence to come on over to the Democratic side in November and vote Democrat in November. That just means that y'all took the pressure off of black folks, and thank God y'all did for once. I hope my girl Jasmine go on the best vacation and put her feet in some sand and get her a nice little mimosa.
Jasmine Crockett thought that the Latino community was going to support her. It's because she's for illegal immigration. But she don't know that a lot of them Latinos in Texas are American citizens. You know, some come across the border, but the American Latinos ain't for illegal immigration. They don't want that burden of that on their community. You know, they vote overwhelmingly for her opponent. And that's why she lost the election, because she didn't get the Latino vote. So what you thought you was for, and what you thought was going to work for you didn't work for you. Democrats, that's a losing strategy. The illegal stuff y'all doing with the immigrants. It's a losing strategy.
I knew that this bullshit would start up about Texas. I just saw a black man, a former mutual, because I unfollowed and blocked him, and he made an entire long-winded video showing statistics indicating that black American voters in Texas let Jasmine Crockett down because black American voters in Texas just don't go out to vote. And we know that that is bullshit. Jasmine herself was screaming for months about the voter suppression that is going on in Texas, targeting black communities. Her very seat was gerrymandered out by the Republicans so that come January 2027, when her term ends, she will be out of Congress. And she will not hold an elected position unless she runs for public office again. But oh no, we're going to now change the narrative and blame black American voters in Texas for Jasmine Crockett not winning. Y'all can go to hell and kiss my ass on the way. And you've got a lot of folk that Harriet would have left behind going, yeah, that's what it is. Black people just don't vote. I remember seeing videos and reading comments from people who tried to vote in Texas, and they couldn't for numerous reasons, including waiting in line for hours. And when they finally get to the polling station, the polls are closed and they were not allowed to vote. Y'all can go to hell with that. But this is just further confirmation about how we black Americans collectively are feeling. All of these people talking about take emotion out of it. We are taking emotion out of it. We are exiting this toxic, abusive relationship. Y'all be careful out here.
Tellerico was not even known to the public. The only thing that made him known to everybody was that talk show scandal. That talk show scandal was planted by both Democrats and Republicans. Don't play stupid with me. My frontal lobe is developing. I am hitting 24. Y'all did that. Tellerico would not have been winning if that did not happen. Y'all would not have known him enough. That scandal where they were like, we were going to put him on here. He's a Democrat that's looking at trying to make change in Texas. Look at this white man. And they told this white man no. That is exactly what they did. Mind you, if you looked into Tellerico's things, even though he got 70% of the Hispanic vote, he has also had racist remarks. We're going to get into that later. But he is not for abolishing ICE like Jasmine Crockett is. He got 70% of the Hispanic vote, not for abolishing ICE and not for impeaching Trump. They asked him, would he impeach Trump? He said he would lower ICE funding. That doesn't even mean abolish ICE. Jasmine Crockett came out with her chest and said that she would do those things. You can definitely be concerned that both of them took AIPAC funds. Absolutely. But like, if we're going to look at the line, if they're Republican as hell over here, but we're only Democrats here. They need to be over here. We're in World War III. Jasmine Crockett is here. Tellerico's still low-key back here. That is why we are still calling him Republican, because he is not for the impeachment of a man who killed 130 children. 150 to 180 elementary school children, which started this war. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. We about to see $5 gas prices. Qatar, the UAE, and Kuwait are starving. They have 8 more days of food. 80 to 90% of their food came in because of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran closing it is making everyone have to address the United States at the same time, and a lot of us do not have the funds to continue doing that at all. At all. Is that not crazy to y'all? Do you not think? Are y'all not thinking about that? Is that not something that you would have looked into? Jasmine Crockett said we aren't picking cotton no more. Why do Hispanic people automatically think we were talking about them? She said we. Is she Hispanic? No. Who else picked cotton in these states? Black people. Who was paid to pick cotton? Hispanics. So why would we be talking about black people when Donald Trump also came out and said that those picking cotton jobs were black jobs? I need y'all to use y'all critical thinking skills a little bit harder. Y'all voted in somebody who was literally put in via scandal. Nobody knew who Tellerico was. Nobody. And white liberals, not white leftists, because I'm now learning, for some reason I was using this term synonymously, and boy was I wrong. White liberals are weak. Y'all still want ICE. Y'all don't care that those girls are getting raped. Y'all don't care that these kids are getting taken off these streets because y'all voted for somebody who is not for impeaching Trump. Do you know what the first words I heard from Trump were when I was 14? Mexicans are rapists. And y'all cool with that?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about Jasmine Crockett. Let me again preface this by saying I adored Jasmine Crockett until she made that statement, because that statement is anti-immigration or anti-immigrant. And before we dive into that, let's look at the history of her comment about cotton picking, because 200 years ago, that's exactly what the Black community was doing. And Jasmine Crockett says, no more, never again. And she was a practicing lawyer before getting into Congress, specifically for civil rights. Okay, now let's dive into what she actually said. She frames immigrants as people who do work that not everyone else is doing, work that not everyone wants to do, which is correct. But Latinos and immigrants are so much more than their labor. She's not humanizing them as people, she's calling them people who work for the American people. We're not going to be exploited again. They will be. They will do the work. And I say that as someone who had family who were working in Texas and California as farmers, and they were abused so bad they actually ended up going back to Mexico. But in Jasmine Crockett's eyes, that's okay because that's what we're here for, and her community isn't doing it anymore. Why couldn't she mention the fact that Latina women are actually going to college at a higher rate than Latino men? Meaning that Latinas will be taking over a lot of corporate jobs, a lot of tech jobs, nonprofit jobs, healthcare jobs. And that's a good thing. And again, she is a lawyer. In law school, they teach you how to use your words wisely, because the wrong phrase, the wrong word could cost your client's case. And Jasmine Crockett has truly just become another AOC, meaning she's loud about things she disagrees with, but when it comes to Congress, nothing is really done or changed. She voted against DHS funding, which fine, but also bare minimum. Same with AOC, same with everyone in Congress. And she did co-sponsor a bill that allowed people to track their family members who were being deported on an airplane. But that's it. She's literally becoming an AOC. She went to the Texas Dilley Center where there were children being held to investigate what was happening. And what did she do after? No bill, no change in Congress, no nothing. Just telling reporters that she does not support this and it's wrong. It's very AOC. It's very Bernie.
This moment is also forcing people to rethink hard and to rethink something bigger, and the idea that minority groups automatically vote as one united political bloc. You see, the reality is that communities aren't monolithic, right? Latino voters, for example, come from many different backgrounds. They come from Mexican, Cuban, they come from Puerto Rican, and also from Central America, and their political views can be very, very different, right? It depends on the region and the religion they come from, and also the economic priorities. Everyone has a reason as to why they didn't vote for Jasmine Crockett. So what some people saw was more so a lack of support, which might have actually just might have been the reality of diverse political interests, but emotions are still high. people are really furious about it, and more so the black voters who felt like race was what might have participated for her not being voted. But at the end of the day, elections always reveal something about the country. And sometimes the results spark uncomfortability, and it sparks huge conversations and debates. And right now, the conversation is around Jasmine Crockett's loss. And it's really about race. Yeah, it's really more so about politics and whether minority communities in America truly move together politically, or if that idea has always been more complicated than people want to admit, right? And honestly, this debate is probably not ending anytime soon. And when it focuses on race, trust me, this will be a long, long time debate. But I'm curious to what you guys think. Do you think this was mainly about policies and priorities? Or do you think this was about race and or political alliances which might have played a bigger role in the outcome? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And finally, credit goes to all the respective owners of the clips and content used in my video. And that's some perceptive guys made today's work possible. And if you loved today's video, don't forget to leave a like. Also subscribe. And don't forget to share this video widely. Remember, it helps the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next video.